Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dev Diary, where today we continue working on our Plants vs. Zombies Cross Vampire Survivors mashup. Now, last time we added the players' abilities to use their tools in order to place/spawn plants. Seeds let players place new plants, the shovel allowed players to pick up those plants and use them as mobile weapons, and those plants could also be placed back into the play area. These were all done via menuing, which also shifted the experience from a straight-up action game to a more strategic menu-focused endeavor, kind of. We're in a weird place currently, but perhaps today's session can help us figure things out. First up were a few new plant additions: the starfruit, the walnut, and the cherry bomb, each testing a specific feature. For example, the starfruit is pretty similar to the pea shooter in terms of code. However, some special code would be necessary in order to create the plant-specific star pattern. And for now, the star projectile is just a reskinned pea shot. But more importantly, the starfruit is currently the only plant that cannot be rotated, even while in the player's inventory. Because believe it or not, the lore actually deems it so. Anyway, the walnut is the most basic of plants and does absolutely nothing, as per its use in Plants vs. Zombies. It's just something for the enemies to munch on. Well, eventually, when we get to it. And finally, we have the cherry bomb, which is an interesting addition. Now, as a quick recap, cherry bombs are single-use plants. After being placed, they explode a moment later, causing AoE damage. Now, our current attack cycle system doesn't allow for such a sequence. However, instead of, coding an entirely new cycle, the current cycle system was simply reinterpreted. So instead of checking for a sequence of shots like the system was meant to, we use those sequence checks as state checks. Then, once the cherry bomb has, quote-unquote detonated, a collision circle is created to damage any nearby enemies. And the result is the same cherry bomb sequence, but of course, using our system meant to check for projectile numbers. Now, elsewhere, our global plant data also got an update. It now stores data for health, sun cost, and weight for each plant, along with a new function to easily access said data. This function/new data was then applied to both the seed usage and plant grabbing accordingly. For example, now when using the shovel, a weight check will be made. If the plant's weight would exceed the player's carrying capacity, the plant will not be picked up. Similarly, when a plant is placed from the player's inventory, their carry weight is reduced. These requirements are also now displayed in their respective menus and the HUD near the player's tool display. And while on the subject, the player can also now collect sun orbs dropped via sunflower. And to save on some processing, hopefully, if the player is carrying a sunflower, sun is automatically added to the player's sun count instead of having to collect an orb. However, it should be noted that as of right now, the sun requirements to place new seeds has not been implemented. And that was all I was able to get to for this session. That doesn't seem like much, but these additions took quite a bit of time and effort to get done, especially the cherry bomb. And again, each plant added this session was specifically done to test certain aspects that still needed focus. The starfruit was added to test if multi-directional projectiles were working, as well as overriding things such as the aim direction. The walnut was simply to check if nothing plants could exist using our current code. And of course, the cherry bomb was to test if sequencing could be used in our existing code. I'm also trying to avoid doing too much at once, so hopefully any oversights won't cause too much of an impact, aka the pitfalls that have set us back on previous projects. Learn from your mistakes. Anyway, to be honest, it's pleasantly surprising to see everything working together so well, at least so far. While the verdict is still out on whether the menus need changing, I'm happy that the systems are at least cooperating with each other. And more importantly, that the translation of mechanics from one game to our mashup has been surprisingly smooth. I'm still not getting my hopes up just yet, but the fact that we've coasted thus far has been encouraging. I mean, we've still got a lot left to do, so let's not get too comfortable just yet. But for now, we'll end the episode on a high note and call it for today's Dev Diary. So remember, if you enjoyed today's entry, consider leaving a like. Be sure to also subscribe and hit that bell if you haven't already. And as always, let me know what you think of today's additions. Have you ever had to reinterpret code like we did for the cherry bomb? Leave your thoughts, opinions, and stars in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.